This is a video from eSkillZone. For more videos, notes, and certificate, please visit www.eskillzone.com. In the previous video, we have discussed what is a computer. Now, in this video, we will talk about the history of computers more briefly. So, here's the thing. The history of the computers starts out about 5,000 years ago, with the birth of the abacus. It is a wooden rack, holding horizontal wires, with beads strung on them. When these beads are moved around, according to programming rules, memorized by user, all regular arithmetic problems can be done. Now, we are going to discuss another important device which revolutionized the computer history. Yes, I am talking about Napier's bones. John Napier, a Scottish mathematician, created logarithm table to facilitate calculations. These rods were widely used by accountants and bookkeepers. Several people used the concept of logarithms to develop the slide rule. With the modern slide rule, you could not only perform the arithmetic operations, but also calculate squares, square roots, logs, sin, cosine, and tangent. The slide rule was used till the middle 70s. Next, we are talking about a device called the Pascal's Pascaline calculator. Pascal invented a machine that had a system of gears. A one-tooth gear engages its single tooth with a 10-tooth gear once every time it revolves. It must be 10 revolutions to rotate the 10th tooth gear once. Numbers could be entered, and the sums are obtained by cranking a handle. Pascal's calculator was not a commercial success because these devices could not be built for practical use. Now, let's talk about the electronic, digital computers. So, with the start of World War II, it produces a large need for computer capacity, especially for the military. New weapons were made for which large number of calculations was needed. In 1942, John Eckert, John Mauchly, and their associates at the Moore School of Electrical Engineering, University of Pennsylvania, decided to build a high-speed electronic computer to do the job. This machine was known as ENIAC, which stands for the Electrical, Numerical, Integrators, and Calculators. Now, let's talk about the advancements in the computers in 1950s to 1960s. During this period, the major computers manufacturer began to offer offensive computer equipment with different prices, such as card readers, printers, cathode rays. These are widely used in business for such things like accounting, payroll, inventory, ordering supplies, and billings. Now let's talk about the generations of the computers. In the sequence, here comes the first generation computers. Computer of this generation uses vacuum tubes to perform calculations. Vacuum tubes were expensive because of the amount of material and skill needed to manufacture them. Vacuum tubes get so hot and burn out. Computer of this generation were very large machines. Special rooms with air conditioning were needed to house them because of the heat generated by the vacuum tubes. The most important computers were ENIAC and UNIVAC 1. Now, let's talk about the second-generation computers. Second-generation computers used the transistors. Transistor was invented by William Shockley, Johann Bardeen, and William Bradeen. Now let's talk about the advantages of the transistors. Number 1. 200 transistors are about the same size as one vacuum tube in a computer. Number 2. Much less expense than a vacuum tube. Number 3. A transistor can work 40 times faster than a vacuum tube. Number 4. Do not get hot and burn out like the vacuum tube. The major change in the electronics computers was the replacement of vacuum tubes with transistors. The transistors was invented at Bell's Labs in 1947. The transistor is smaller, cheaper, and dissipates less heat than a vacuum tube but can be used in the same weight as a vacuum tube to construct computers. As compared to the first-generation computers, second-generation computers used magnetic core memory as internal storage. Second-generation computers enjoyed the use of more complex arithmetic and logic units, use of low-level and high-level programming languages such as COBOL, BASICs, Pascal language, and assembly language, etc. Next, we are going to discuss the third-generation computers, which are called the integrated circuits, usually known as the ICs. The concept of integrated circuits was developed by Jacques St. Clair Kilby in 1958. First integrated circuit was developed and used in 1961. An integrated circuit is about 1 by 4 square inch and can contain thousands of transistors. The major invention of third generation of computers was the development of integrated circuits. A single integrated circuit chip contains thousands of transistors. The computer became smaller in size, faster, more reliable, and lower in price, and also became very common in medium to large-scale business. These computers used magnetic core memory as internal storage. The most successful computers of this generation were IBM System 360 and DEC PDP-8. The other computers were UNIVAC 1180, UNIVAC 9000, and IBM 370, etc. Next, we are going to discuss the fourth generation of computers, which are known as the microprocessors. The microprocessor is a complete processing circuitry on a chip. Ted Huff produced the first microprocessor in 1971 for Intel, which was named as Intel 4004. Modern microprocessors are usually less than 1 square inch and can contain millions of the electronic circuits. The microprocessors are used in many electronic devices today, for example, wristwatches, microwaves oven, and cars. Fourth generation of computers started with the invention of microprocessors. It revolutionized the computer world. Advancements were made in the integrated circuits technology. LSI, which is RAND for large-scale integrated circuits, and VLSI, which is stand for very large integrated circuits, were designed, which contributes to the invention of the microprocessor. Computer of this generation used semiconductor memory, which increased the internal storage of the computers. These computers have high processing speed, more internal storage, and are smaller in size. Examples of fourth generation of computers our Apple Macintosh, and IBM PC, etc. Next great advancement in the computer revolution is the invention of fifth generation of computer, which changed all of our world. The fifth generation of computers are called the artificial intelligence. Fifth generation computing devices based on the artificial intelligence, which are still in their development stage. Though there are some applications, such as voice recognition, that are being used today. The use of parallel processing and superconductors is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. Quantum computation and molecular and nano technology will radically change the face of computers in years to come. The goal of fifth-generation computing is to develop devices that respond to natural language input and are capable of learning and self-organization. Now let's talk about that. What are the advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence? Artificial neural networks and deep learning artificial intelligence technologies are quickly evolving, primarily because AI processes large amounts of data much faster and makes predictions more accurately than humanly possible. While the huge volume of data being created on a daily basis would vary. A human researcher, AI applications that use machine learning can take that data and quickly turn it into actionable information. As of this writing, the primary disadvantage of using AI is that it is expensive to process the large amounts of data that AI programming requires. Now, let's talk about the advantages of artificial intelligence more briefly. Good at detail-oriented jobs, reduced time for data-heavy tasks, delivers consistent results, and AI-powered virtual agents are always available. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages of artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence is expensive. Artificial intelligence requires deep technical expertise, limited supply of qualified workers to build artificial intelligence tools, only knows what it's been shown, and lack of ability to generalize from one task to another. Hope you like our video. See you next time. This is a video from eSkillZone. For more videos, notes, and certificate, please visit www.eskillzone.com.